Hi, my name is Trevor May, and this is Pigeon Project. My game is currently titled Cybermob. In Cybermob, you will have to modify yourself with various cybernetic enhancements, but be warned, as your enemies have access to the same cybernetics. Just like the game Hotline Miami, Cybermob is also a top-down shooter. You'll play as a young man in the 1920s whose only mission is to take down the mob who control the imports and exports of cyber limb technology. Like I mentioned earlier, this game is similar to Hotline Miami. From your aerial view, you'll see your cursor that is directly in front of the player. From this short clip, you can see that the player is able to move and extend the cursor. But unlike Hotline Miami, you can lock onto the enemy and the cursor will change depending on the enhancement you have active. Your overarching goal in the game is to defeat the Godfather. Along with this major goal, there are also sub-goals that will be implemented for the player to achieve. These sub-goals will include things such as collecting a certain number of cyber parts in the level, silently killing all enemies, killing enemies with only a certain weapon, and more. Accomplishing goals are met with rewards like cyber parts. Not every mission has to have sub-goals either. Based on playtesting and feedback, the designers can tweak these goals to whatever feels fun for the player. Your basic movement in combat is the same as a typical top-down shooter. Now, with new weapons, combat and mobility gameplay would become more complex. For example, you might have metal jackhammers on your legs that let you bust through walls. This would give the player a tactical advantage in combat, but might also alert the enemies in the area. You might also have a sword for an arm instead of a gun. Now stealth kills will be more successful, but you have to be closer to the enemy in order to damage them. The use of cybernetic enhancements on your body is the major mechanic in terms of how you fight the mob. How and when you decide to use it is up to the player. Enhancements can be created for your head, arms, and legs. Cyber parts that are used on your legs are applied to both legs, while the right and left arm are individual and can be different. The head enhancements are stronger and considered to be the player's super cyber ability. Each super will have a cooldown on it. Missions are very linear and set up in a predetermined path for the player to follow. Because you are restricted to only 4 parts at a time, you have to be careful of what you equipped because you can't see the level before you start it. The loadout of cyber enhancements can't be changed during the mission either. There are 4 different types of enemies that exist in Cybermob. The weakest type is the soldier, as they are only equipped with 1 cyber part on either their right or left arm. The second type, which is considered a brute, is the capo. The capo is equipped with 2 parts either on both arms or on 1 arm and their legs. The third is an underboss that only has a cyber head enhancement, and the Godfather, which is equipped with all 4 possible enhancements. The AI seems like the biggest risk in the development of Cybermob. A simple solution would be to create a cone of vision that will alert the AI of the player and then make them attack the player. Once dead or out of sight, they can stop attacking. They can also be set to travel to the player's last known location. This creates a sort of search function. A basic rundown of a level would start out with the player spawning in. From there, they can see the majority of the level and where the enemies are. For this example, let's say the player just has 2 rifle arms equipped. They can move from here into another room and kill the enemy. If there are some cyber parts in there, they can collect them for later use. Moving forward, they encounter a capo and an underboss. You'll most likely take some damage, but eventually you'll get them killed. Now all that's left is to travel to the exit and collect your rewards. You are now ready to improve and advance yourself to the next level. This was Pigeon Project, and thank you for listening.